Hey everyone, thanks for coming by today and spending some time on the channel with me. Hope you're having a good weekend, some playoff football on today, but why don't we add some March Madness basketball to the mix as well. As UT Martin last episode, they won their league's tournament, earning an 11 seed in March Madness, their first trip to the big dance in program history. And this West region is regarded as possibly the toughest in the field. The lowest we saw Florida hang 103 on their 15-seed opponent, Marshall stifled Georgetown, and Michigan took down Stephen F. Austin. And moving up we also have Gonzaga, A&M, and Iowa State in our region, but won't be focusing on those matchups today, rather the 6 versus 11 game here in the West. UT Martin will take on in-state opponent the 25-9 Memphis Tigers, winners of the Conference USA's postseason tournament. This Memphis team could easily just be a 3 or a 4 seed, as let's take a look at their scouting report. These guys on defense, they play a 1-3-1 half-court press. They force the ball handler into a direction after he passes half-court and trap him with the other strong side guard. Gonna have to watch out for that. And on offense, fast tempo, a very high fast break tendency, and they crash the glass of both sides at a high level. And this results in the Tigers having the number 2 ranked offense, no, not in their conference, number 2 ranked offense in the entire country at almost 85 points a game. Man, this team could easily just be a top 3 seed, but with the look at the draw, I guess we're gonna have to face them in round 1. And so Romeo Nixon is their leading scorer, who also paced all players in Conference USA in points per game at an even 20. But one thing that helps us is the fact that Vlad Copeland, the sophomore point guard, leader in assists per game for the squad, he will be inactive this game. But filling his shoes is senior guard Amir Sosa, who shoots 41% from 3. Peyton Jimenez is another threat both inside and out for Memphis. He's a bouncy 6'6 wing, a Newark, New Jersey product, and on the interior it doesn't get much easier. Remington Fitzgerald is a bruising 6'8", 315-pound big fella who is very polished in the post on both sides of the floor, finishing in top 10 in rebounds and blocks a game for their conference. And Marvin Garrett is the first guy off the bench for the Tigers, another senior who has an arsenal of moves in the post. Normally, you wouldn't see this big of a talent disparity in a 6 versus 11 matchup, but UTM, they've got to play with the cards they've been dealt, and just remember the past success of 11 seeds in March. In 2011, VCU made the Final Four as an 11 seed, and of course, the historic run of Loyola Chicago just a few seasons ago. We can't play scared, we gotta stick to the mindset that got us this far. Both Memphis and UTM, they travel from Tennessee to Boise, Idaho for the first 2 rounds here at the Taco Bell Arena, home of Boise State, and I think we're ready for some action here tonight. University of Tennessee Martin in their first ever NCAA Tournament appearance, wearing those navy blue roads with the orange trims, and Memphis in those home whites with the light blue trim, as Christopher Fay wins the tip-off, and the NCAA tournament is underway as we begin with the first possession of the ball game, winners of 13 out of our last 14 as Saunders drives, kicks, Lawton looks inside to Fay, and he is unsuccessful. So an empty possession for UTM kicks off their NCAA tournament career as a program, and immediately up the other way there is Peyton Jimenez, who leaves the layup short. So empty possessions for both sides as we kick things off. Now here comes Romeo Nixon, and he's sent back by Blaine Fry. Saunders with a long outlet pass, easily tries to put his foot in the ground, he's stopped. Lawton catches, fires, that one's long. So some good defense displayed by both teams as we get things underway, and Amir Sosa, I'm still trying to figure out who the senior point guard was lobbing there. So the 4th year guy with an underclassman turnover there. So still with no points as Lawton gives it right back. Jimenez went headlong to save it to Sosa, but he hasn't snatched away from behind. Dwight Easley, what a hustle play there, but the shot attempt on the other way, yeah, that's not what you want to see for Coach Carter. Romeo Hickson, he feeds it up to Amir Sosa, who responds after that boneheaded turnover, and the senior will head to the line. Amir Sosa, a 6'3 senior guard from Jackson, Tennessee, averaging 9 and 3 assists on the year, also shoots 40%. He's gone 51 of 126 from beyond the arc on the season. He makes 2 of 2 to kick us off, and Lawton is unsuccessful on the next drive. And Peyton Jimenez brings it back out the other way. A kick out to Sosa. Make that 52 of 127. Amir Sosa filling the shoes of his fallen teammate, the normal starting point guard Vlad Copeland. But here's that trap I talked about pregame. Saunders finds some pay dirt from the right wing. Great pass from Easley over the double team, and there's our first NCAA tournament basket in school history. A 3 from Marcus Saunders, now looking for a tie as Easley manipulates the screen. The first one didn't work, but as the saying goes, if you don't succeed, try again, and that's what Easley does there. Pretty good start from UTM, only allowing 2 baskets so far to the nation's second-ranked offense as Ernest Wagner from the high post. Nice bounce pass to the leading scorer on Memphis. That is Romeo Hickson, averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, 44% from 3 as a senior from Greenville, North Carolina. He gives the Memphis Tigers the lead back. And now Easley, they isolate things for him on the left wing. Faye comes out for a high pick and roll, and Easley finds him, and he will knock down an and one on top of Remington Fitzgerald. Remington, a 6'8", 315-pound senior from Nashville. He is a tough guy to go toe-to-toe with inside, averaging 1.5 blocks a game, but he's a little bit slow on pick-and-roll defense as we saw there, so that might be the way to exploit him on defense, but Faye, unsuccessful on the free throw, can't give UTM the early advantage. Amir Sosa at the controls at the other end, and Easley made a mistake there. He went under the pick and roll, and Sosa, who shoots over 40% from beyond the arc, he is free to stroke it, and they have the advantage 10-7. Only 5 minutes off the clock. Here comes that trap again, so Saunders can drive, bounce pass. Faye can't finish, and the rebound is tipped into the arms of LJ Everett, one of the first bench guys to check in for Memphis today. 10-7, Sosa coming back the other way as we reach 10 minutes to go in the half, and a down screen for Jimenez, who is free to fire. All of a sudden, the Tigers turning it up a notch out on the perimeter, and Jimenez has his first basket, and Saunders almost losing it here. Another great defensive possession here for Memphis. 1 second left, they have to force up a tough shot. There's Saunders missing from the baseline, and Sosa rushes it the other way. Here comes this fast Memphis attack again. Sosa, a little give and go between him and Everett, and Sosa is outscoring UTM with that 3. He's got 11 of Memphis's first 16 points, and Sosa, the first man in double figures, and we're not even halfway through the first half. Now another screen, Faye, and Easley. He delivers a dime to Faye, but he leaves it short and a little too quick to grab the miss. The ball was still in the cylinder, so it'll be basket interference, but what a dime from Easley. Maybe his best ever in his college career, and Faye has to put that down. And Faye's been struggling so far tonight. That's his 3rd miss. Down by double figures already. We're going to need some positive offensive sets to get back into this one. Only 7 points so far as Marcus Saunders takes his man baseline and draws the foul. Down by 11 with 8:16 left to go. An important pair of free throws for Marcus Saunders, rimming in the first one. As Saunders, the 6'3" junior, we all know and love him. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, leader in points a game for our team the entire season as he checks out in favor of Jacques Diggs. 8 minutes left to go, down 20-9 after 2 free throws for Memphis as Easley comes the other way. Little spin move on LJ Everett, and now he draws a bump and a foul. And whether it's pick and roll or just straight up isolation one-on-one, it seems like going to the rim has what has really worked for UTM so far, as Jimenez is trapped out of the post, swings it to free throw line extended, where we see Marvin Garrett. He's sitting wide open for his second basket. Coming back the other way, Memphis still pressuring the ball handlers. Here comes the trap. Another open look for Luke Lawton this time, but he's off the mark. A big rebound from LJ Everett over Diggs. And now Memphis once again takes over on offense as there is Hickson getting Lawton to stumble a little bit. And on the second effort, he gets it to go. And it's just been the offensive rebounding for Memphis, just killing us on the glass as Coach Carter calls timeout. That's really been the biggest difference between the two clubs. 6:53 left to go, about halfway through this first half of action. Down a baker's dozen is UTM, but Jacques Diggs trying to cut that lead down a bit, rattles home a 3. Fresh off of his postseason performances, he had 33 points in 3 games, averaging 11 over the OVC tournament. And Diggs with a huge basket there. Hamilton sets up Faye to go to the basket. Another foul tacked on Remington Fitzgerald, his second, as the big fella's going to have to check out in favor of Marvin Garrett, who's had a pretty good run, but still a big loss for Memphis going forward. And Faye shooting 61% from the line here in his sophomore year. He misses again, so 1 of 3 from the line for Faye. He's been frustrated shooting the ball, or even from the free throw line, he's had trouble scoring. Some starters check in for both sides as going back door is Wagner. And that is a beautiful pass from Sosa, who's done his fair share of damage from shooting the rock. And here he is with his third assist. So passing or facilitating, Sosa's been a tough man to stop. And that and one extends the lead to 13 as we go with another pick and roll. This time it is Pierre Hamilton with an impressive drive to the rim. Nice soft kiss off the glass. There's his first basket in this one, and UTM still running with their signature Coach Carter full court press, but it has not been working out very well. They forced only one turnover here so far in the first half, and Memphis continues to get easy looks as they continue to break it. And then on the other end, Pierre Hamilton with an uncharacteristic turnover leading to a three-point bomb, no good, but rebounded once again. This time it is Marvin Garrett again, who's come off the bench to fill the shoes of Remington Hunter, who's dealing with foul trouble. And with this free throw, Garrett, the senior backup forward, he's got 9. So he's doing it all and then some for Remington Hunter's absence. 34-18. As Saunders, he tries to run another pick and roll with Faye, and this time it works again. He faked the screen, drove baseline again. He's been loving that baseline here tonight. Now he's got 7, and again, another quick bucket for Memphis off of them breaking that full court press. And I think Coach Carter, he's going to try to call it off here in the last few minutes and see how it works out. Back in Richmond High School, Coach Carter, he always loved that press, and for his 3 years stint here at UTM, he's always used it as well. And now quickly, Hamilton weaves that pass around the double team and finds Saunders again for his second 3. Up to 10 points, Marcus Saunders, he is keeping UTM in it. This hasn't been the most ideal first half against Memphis for UTM, but they're starting to look more competitive. But here comes Garrett again. 13 points for the senior off the bench, not even missing a shot yet. Yusuf Weeks, the backup point guard, gets fouled on Memphis' next trip on offense, and he misses 2 of 2. And a long outlet pass from Luke Lawton. Saunders pulls it in the face of Weeks, and he knocks it down. Marcus Saunders almost single-handedly keeping UTM in the game, his 3rd tray ball, and he has looked difficult to stop, no matter who they put on him. Cutting the lead back down to a dozen as Sosa and his crew take it the other way. Nice backdoor pass. There's Sosa assisting to Weeks, and 40-26 their score. Check that, 42-26, cutting this possession. Still down by 16 as Faye goes high to low, and that one is picked off, but Lawton stays with it. He takes it right back from Wagner, resulting in a 3-pointer for Marcus Saunders, his 4th of the game. 42-29, UTM, they're starting to play up with Memphis now. 10 seconds left as Okoye tries a 3, no good, but here comes Peyton Jimenez with the second chance points. That has just been too common of an occurrence tonight as Easley's half-court shot is sent back. Way too many offensive rebounds for Memphis, and we're going to get into that here in the halftime report. I really don't think Memphis is 15 points better than us. This rebounding situation is killing us. 17-8 is the difference right now. It's just inexcusable, and I feel like the differential has been on the glass. If it was a little bit tighter on rebounding, I think we'd at least be within 10. We need to start running in transition. It's hard because Memphis is so much more athletic than us, but we have to find a way to make it happen. And that'll also put more pressure on them in the foul department. We already have Remington Fitzgerald, their starting center, in foul trouble, but I guess Marvin Garrett having 13 off the bench kind of offsets it, but still, the point remains. Saunders has single-handedly kept us in it, 16 points, with 4 made 3 balls. Faye 2 of 5, he's looked a little frustrated, and Blaine Fry, who's been so tough on the glass this year, only has 1 rebound, and that's inexcusable. Blaine Fry needs to show some more fight along with the rest of these guys. We're playing down right now. Easley has 4 and 2 assists, and Luke Lawton's done a good job on Romeo Hickson, who's only shooting 2 of 7 so far. But we got to start to lock down Amir Sosa and Marvin Garrett, and if we stick to these principles, then we could find ourselves back in it. As here comes Romeo Hickson firing immediately. That one's off the front iron. Another good defensive stand from Lawton. He's really been going toe-to-toe with one of the best scorers really across the entire country. And now Lawton on the other end. Saunders gives it right back to him because he sees that Lawton has a big forward on him. A slow guy, a spin move, and he draws a foul plus putting it down. A 3-point play, and Remington Fitzgerald, that's his 3rd personal. He only played a couple minutes in the first half, and quickly he has to be substituted for, you guessed it, Marvin Garrett. So really how much of an advantage that has on us with how Garrett's been playing, I guess we're going to have to see. 45-31 is the score after Lawton's made free throw, and another nice dime from Easley, and Faye, that time it was too strong, off of the window. Faye misses again, they go inside, and Chris Faye sends back The Memphis shot. That little bit of conviction behind that. I'm sure he's a little bit frustrated with the way he's been playing tonight. Lawton's now blocked, but Fry with a little bit of fight, he scoops it up. No good on the second chance, but Faye comes flying in for the tip-in. Alright, so now here's some of the fight we wanted to see, now trimming it down to a 12-point lead. A little screen and pop action for Memphis, as it was actually Hickson who was popping. He misses again, and a long outlet pass to Lawton. We're looking to up the tempo a little bit. Lawton with an ill-advised shot there though, but Fry on the glass. Back-to-back offensive rebounds for Fry, and we've cut it to 10 points with 12.5 left to go. UTM with a little bit of a spurt here, 6-1 since we began the second half. Now Hickson tries to take ISO on Lawton, and that was perfect defense, but Lawton is whistled for the foul. And that's one of the nation's best offensive threats, and he was with him step for step, but unfortunately the refs continue to call everything here in this game seemingly, but Hickson with a rare miss there, 83% on the year. He does make the second one to extend it to 11, and now Lawton gets his revenge, picking his pocket. Saunders to Easley, almost turning it over, so it looks like UTM might want to slow this thing down a little bit as they run their play. Faye with the screen for Easley, he nets it. Cutting this to an 8-point game for the first time. It's been single digits in a while. 11:42 left to play. Got to play some defense, but here comes Garrett. Faye, I thought, played good defense there too, but the ref thought otherwise. They continue to call this game very closely as Marvin Garrett, the hero for Memphis in the first half, stepping to the line, and now he's got 14 off the bench. Make that 15 with the second free throw dropping as well. Still a 10-point game, easily open again, but he thinks better if it goes inside to Faye, backing down Garrett, a little post hook, and that one drops. So now Faye's starting to come alive a little bit as we cut it to 8, and Faye also has 8. So 50-40 is your score as Easley tries to go inside to the post again. Fry springs it around to Saunders, nets his 5th triple of the game. 19 for Marcus Saunders, our captain. Still perfect from beyond the arc, 5 of 5 as he puts the team on his back. Still continuing here in the second half, but Sosa, he returns the favor. Amir Sosa with his 3rd tray ball. He just looked like he was going to come out and reset the offense, but a quick trigger finger from him, and Memphis extends the lead back to 8 with under 10 minutes left to go. And now Kari Claiborne and some other bench pieces check in as Claiborne actually wants to pull it, and despite only averaging 2 points a game on the year, he is a 3-point specialist as he knocks one down there. Schofield, Ballard, and Diggs all check in, and now here comes Fry who throws it away. Shot clock winding down, not much he could do there, and Sosa with the run out. Great defense from Blaine Fry to hustle his way back. He did not put his head down after he turned over the ball. He just beat the Memphis offense back up the floor, forced Sosa, who's been red hot, into a miss, and it results in a trip to the charity stripe for Jacques Diggs on the other end. Diggs in the first half was just as explosive as he was in the conference tournament, and here he is to do some damage at the free throw line. First one is up and good, making around 80% here in his freshman year. Now Pierre Hamilton joins him as he makes the second free throw as well. 8 minutes left to go as it's 5 reserve players actually for UTM, and Ballard, he swings it to Jacques Diggs. Can he make his second tray ball? Yes, he does. The freshman Diggs continues to play like a senior, and UTM on a 22-12 run here in the second half to open things up. Sosa, a kick out to Claiborne. Just can't leave him open. One of the last guys on Memphis's bench, but from top to bottom, these guys can all stroke it, and everything that UT Martin throws at Memphis, they throw it right back, but Pierre Hamilton quickly up their way. There's Gene Schofield coming off the bench, and now he has a basket. As Hamilton, the team leader in assists despite only playing 14 minutes a game, he dimes once again there. 59-53, we need some stops as Memphis calls timeout, can't trade baskets. As Chris Faye and Luke Lawton both check in, so 2 starters on the floor, 6:39 left to go. Hamilton feeds the post, swings it around, here's Diggs again, yes! Jacques Diggs up to 11 points. A spark plug he has been. 65-56 with 5 minutes left to go. Now Remington Fitzgerald tries it. He misses, but Lawton fails to check out Garrett on the glass there. He mistimed his rebound, and once again, just like it was in the first half, these rebounds have been killing UTM. But nice bounce pass from Easley, feeding Fry perfectly towards the rim. And Remington Fitzgerald, number 4, that is his 4th personal foul. So, Blaine Fry, despite being a forward, one of the best free throw shooters on this UTM team at 77% here in his freshman year, he cuts it back to 10. The 6th-seeded Memphis Tigers trying to shut the door on the upset bid, and that might help them swing things in their direction. Going back door, it's Everett to Jimenez on the lob, and just like that, it's a dozen. The deficit as Easley pulls up from the baseline, helps halt the momentum a little bit from that jam, and easily up to 9 now. The starting 5 for both sides check back in with 4:13 left to go as Hickson tries again, and that one rims in. A little help from the backboard and pretty much the entire rim that time. The friendly bounce goes for Hickson up to 13. Little give and go right back though. Easily to Fry, and Blaine Fry puts in another basket. All 7 of his points coming in the second half. 72-67 as Sosa, he strokes it well short, but once again, failing to clear, failing to box out, whatever you want to call it. Memphis, just so much more physical than we have been tonight. And just the failing to secure defensive rebounds, that's been what's holding us back tonight. But Easley on the second effort, he got no call on that first drive, so he stayed with it and draws the goaltending call on Ernest Wagner. He's up to a 13 now as Sosa is sent back. Blaine Fry coming out of nowhere and crashing the party. Lawton feeds the fade down the lane, a tough finish, should have been a free throw after that. But we'll take it as Lawton and Faye, the same 2 guys that came into together on Coach Carter's first recruiting class, they cut it back to single digits. Now we're under 3 to go as Faye reaches double figures. Sosa manning the offense. He's been a floor general tonight as he wants to pull. Bang! That one rims in for Sosa up to 17, and that is a backbreaker. As we reach 2 minutes left to go, down by 12, UTM with their backs against the wall. Saunders pops out. He receives a screen across the key. He takes it and he finishes. He absorbed the contact from 6'8", 316-pound Remington Fitzgerald, and he still scored. But with under a minute to go, Saunders hangs, misses. It looks like we're going to fall a little bit short on this comeback and upset bid as Sosa to Hickson. That will be the finishing blow. Take a look at the elevation, the tenacity, and the beautiful pass from Sosa to cap things off here in the first round of the NCAA Tournament. UT Martin falls by 16 to Memphis, although I feel like that score wasn't quite indicative of just how competitive they remained here tonight. Memphis may be a 6 seed, but they showed here tonight that they should be up anywhere in the top 3 seeds. Marcus Saunders ends off his junior year with 25 points. Easley has 11 as he heads into his senior year as well. Faye rebounded nicely in the second half, and Fry had all 7 of his points in the second. And Jock Diggs has been as good as he's been the entire postseason, 11 for him tonight as he becomes a sophomore. By far, I feel the biggest jump that we made here in year 3 was our team rebounding. This is the best it's ever looked. But we came to a pretty humbling loss here tonight on the boards. Although we did close the gap a little bit in the second half, we were down by 9 on the rebounding differential coming into the locker room. We were able to close that bridge to 5 whenever the final buzzer sounded, and I feel like that really played a part in only getting outscored by 1 by Memphis in the second half, 43-42. On some untimely things here happened tonight. Memphis had a great shooting night as they always seem to do, and of course Garrett coming off the bench filling the shoes for Fitzgerald, that didn't help matters either. So as we look to the rest of the tournament, let's get our minds off that loss a little bit as we recap the rest of March Madness. Let's start off in our bracket, the West Regional, as we see Memphis actually knocking off Michigan as well with a Sweet 16 berth against University of Florida. And Florida, it took them overtime, but they managed to knock off Memphis 95-88. So I feel a little bit better about our loss after I saw Memphis giving so much trouble to some of the top seeds. So that's the bottom half of our West Regional. Let's see who's going to be facing Florida in the Elite 8 for a chance at the Final Four. Nevada and Iowa State face off, and the 5th seed in Nevada Wolfpack, they're actually going to face A&M, the top seed, and they knock them off. And then they fall short, however, to Florida. So our first Final Four team here of Year 3's March Madness, it will be the Florida Gators. So as we move up to the East, we have Kansas and UC Irvine, who they barely beat, and then they smoke Wake Forest, putting 105 on them. Then they would face Texas as they knocked off UNC in an upset, and they would actually take that game by 7. So moving up, we also have Louisville here and then the top overall seed, which was actually Maryland. And as you can see, Louisville making it all the way to the Sweet 16. Maryland takes down Texas Tech in a blowout, but then there's our first real shocker of the tournament. The defending champions, the Maryland Terrapins, they lose in a nail-biter to Louisville. So it'll be either Louisville or the 2-seeded Kansas Jayhawks, who will be going up against the 2-seeded Florida Gators, and a pair of 2 seeds. They're the ones who have Final Four rights here on the first side of the bracket. Let's go over to the next side, our third regional we're recapping. USC is the top overall seed in this one. Still not a lot of shockers. Last year we had so many upsets, but it's been pretty conventional this year. Mississippi State looks good, and they had a chance to beat the number 1 seed from the South, only losing by 13. They kept it close the entire way. So the Trojans with an Elite 8 berth, let's see who's going to be taking them on for a Final Four appearance. As Kentucky, a team we actually beat, they were unranked for most of the year, but they're starting to peak at the right time, beating the 3-seeded UConn Huskies, but then they fall by 8 to Michigan State, so a decent run for them. So Michigan State versus USC, 1 versus 2, and it would be the, drumroll please, there it is, USC takes them down by 10 for our third Final Four participant. Moving down to the Midwest, South Carolina, the 1 seed here, and finally a shocker here in the tournament, the 9th seed Ohio State Buckeyes, they take them down, and then they also go on to face Boston College and take that game in a blowout victory by 18. So the Buckeyes, the highest seed we've seen the entire tournament, still alive in the Elite 8. And then Montana, here's a huge shocker. They take down NC State, but then a humbling defeat as they get 102 hung on them and almost a 50-point loss against Tennessee. And then the Volunteers would not stop there, then hanging 110 on the Duke Blue Devils. So we're going to have Tennessee versus Ohio State, 2 teams that have actually seen each other a lot more than what you might expect in the real tournament. And Tennessee, they've been red hot, and they continue that in a 12-point win against the Buckeyes. So Tennessee, the highest seed in the Final Four, they lose to USC, and Kansas takes down Florida. 2 very high-scoring Final Four games, as it will be Jayhawks versus Trojans in the big game. And of course, you guys know I always like to sit in on that every year with you guys and commentate that game, and I'm excited to do it again this year as well. And thus, one last look at the schedule. It's been such a memorable year for UT Martin hoops. I mean, that top 25 win against Kentucky, our only in school history, our conference tournament, that long winning streak, and of course, the first March Madness appearance in school history. We're going to try to make it 2 in a row next year. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sorry we couldn't, secure an NCAA win. We gave Memphis a pretty good run for their money, but I think next year I still feel really good about this squad. There's only 1 scholarship right now on the roster, as Blair Renfro is our lone senior. He'll be graduating. So it looks like we're going to have the same nucleus going into next year, as Saunders and Easley, they become seniors. Christopher Fay becomes an upperclassman as he looks to take that next jump. Fry gets some more experience under his belt. Lawton's really starting to develop as more of a scorer as well with his plus defensive ability. I feel even better with this team going into next year than I did coming into year 3. So the stakes, they're really high, the expectations are even higher. Thanks for joining me today. Next time out, we're going to have the off-season recap video. And stay tuned for that, because I'm going to let you guys put in your own player, hometown, position, all of that jazz in the comments, and I'll make you guys as freshmen on our Ohio Valley Conference opponents. So stay tuned for that, a very exciting time for you guys. Can't wait to see you guys then.